Yo, what up, everyone? This is J Fuzz Type V. In today's video, we're talking about the time I stopped a robbery in progress. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Before we hop in the video, I just want to say thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it, and this is something I enjoy doing. So let's just hop right into it. So the time I stopped a robbery in progress. I was probably about 17, 18 years old, I would say at this point. I worked at Track Supply. Good time. Had a lot of memories there. Probably worked there for about a year or so. I stopped two robberies in progress. Pretty crazy. I'll describe both stories. So let's just hop into the first story. So I was working Track Supply. I usually work as a cashier. So I was right in the front. Basically, you have a. I'm going to describe the entrance. You have, the main door. Then you have a vestibule, as in like a glassed area, and then you have another door, and then you walk into the store, right? Then there's two registers right there in the front. As in there's two little kind of, if you imagine islands, right? There's a register on one side, a register on the other side, and then there's like a walkway on the left and right side of both islands, right? Then you have Track Supply. You have, Carhartt. You have your dog food, your feed, like cow feed and all, like farm food, if that's what we're gonna say. And then you have dog stuff, and then you have tools, and then you have like heaters and kind of like outdoor stuff. So it's a nice combination of like outdoor slash farm slash dog, kind of all your essential needs for outdoor stuff, right? So what happens is it's a pretty busy day, and I've gotten better through time multitasking, and whenever I'm a cashier, I've always been very hyper aware of the store, because we have known people who rob from the store, steal from the store, and I wanted to make sure that it didn't happen on my dime, but like I wasn't like too focused on it, but I've always just been hyper aware when I'm on the cashier, because I don't want someone to come up behind me with a gun or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's always good to be aware of what's your surroundings, especially as a cashier. So, working the cashier, working on when you enter Track Supply on the left side. I'm on the left register. That's usually the main register I ran on. It was just my favorite. It ran faster than the other one. That's what I've noticed, at least. But so basically what happens is it's a pretty busy day, right? A lot of customers. There's probably a line of 4 or 5, right? It's not very common to have a line of 4 or 5 people in my store, because the store is considered a convenience store, but it's big enough to be like kind of like in that sense like a grocery store. So having 5 people in a line is not very common, but I'm very fast on the register, so I'm just cashing out people. Have a great day, sir. This, that, blah, blah, blah. And these two guys walk in, just normal customers. They walk in, whatever. And whenever someone walks in Track Supply, our boss wanted to say, welcome to Track Supply. I'm like, welcome to Track Supply. No response. Now, I would say a good 85% of people say, hello, how you doing? So for them not to respond, I mean, it can mean anything, but it's always, you kind of get the vibe of the person immediately when they walk in. Oh, how are you? Like, they're very heartwarming, or if they just want to look down. And if you want to look down and do your thing, I don't care. But just to add some, content into this, I remember them just not completely ignoring. And they walk in, and so we've had a history of people who steal from the store, and we have a description of them, and they didn't fit the description. I guess they were new robbers when it comes to it, right? When you eventually find out they're about to rob. But these are just regular customers. So they walk in, and I remember I'm working the cashier, right? And since I'm, 6'3", whatever, and I can kind of see the whole store from where I'm standing, because my height and everything, I'm above the kind of little island and the cashier and everything, so I'm able to see the whole store. And I kind of just keep an eye out after, I cash everyone out on the register. So people, I have a great day, this and that, they're walking out, and now there's no one in the cash register in the line. And I'm just sitting there and just kind of keeping aware, and sometimes I'll just sit back, sit down like on the counter thing, and just kind of relax. Or sometimes I'll just look around the store, and it's just something to do, look at people, see what they're doing, see if there's any suspicious activities, right? So, now describe what the guys are doing. The guys, they go around. They look like. Now, I'm not saying this like when I first saw them. I didn't. Oh, they're gonna rob, right? I'm not saying this by any means. But now, since I know they were going to rob because I stopped them, I'm just gonna describe what they did, right? So they walk around the store. Now, they go around the store. They kind of, from what I'm inferring, now looking back on it, is they were trying to look like they were just regular shoppers. Going to dog food, because going to the dog food is very common. Going to dog food, going to dog collars, going to the horse area, medical area, go to the feed area, walking around. Then you go to the tools area, right? In the back left side of the store, when you're entering the store, the back left side, there's like hitches for your truck. There's lights for your car, which are pretty expensive. There's generators. There's a lot of stuff, right? And a lot of the expensive stuff is usually held in the back of the store because it's harder to, steal the item, especially when you have to walk so far to the front. That's such a distance to the front. But yeah, whatever. Those stuff are all the way in the back, left side. These guys kind of, they start from the right side. They walk all the way around, kind of in a circle, and they go to the back left side where all the hitches are and the expensive stuff is. Right, which is no problem. They go in there. You can see they had a cart on them. They found a cart on, I guess, maybe one of the aisles or whatever, and they started shopping, right? And they're grabbing this and that. And I remember as they're doing that or whatever, I need to go to the bathroom, so I call someone to the front. One of my bosses come up to the front, or one of the workers come, hey, can you come really quick? I need to go to the bathroom. Yeah, no problem. So I run to the bathroom. And now the bathroom is on that back left side. There's a hallway in the back left corner where the hitches are and the lights. Excuse me. So they walk I walk all the way back there to the left side of the hallway, and I see those guys, and they have a cart. And in the cart, I see like a stack of like, what's those the lights, the headlight things they put on Jeeps, like the big light bars, right? They're really bright. They had like 6 or 7 of them in one cart, right? That is not common to have a person, because they're probably about $150, $200 each. For someone to unlock that gate and put them all in there is not common. For one customer to have, 5, 6 of those lights, right? Or it's not common by any means. You're usually buying 1 or 2 max, right? So I don't think anything of it. I kind of just look at it and I'm like, oh, interesting. Like, okay, word. I guess they're buying a lot of lights, right? So go to the bathroom, come back. Now those guys are like, I realize as I'm walking by, because as I'm walking down the hallway, I kind of get a good glimpse of them, and they're looking around like peeking over their shoulder, like looking around really quick before they grab items. And I'm like, that's not very, customer-like, for someone just to be looking around, grabbing stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like, they look suspicious by doing that. They're looking like they're trying to make sure that no one's looking at them. They see me and they immediately just like kind of look over and kind of start doing their own thing, like pretend like they're looking at, oh, what's this item? Like, what are those? So I keep walking down that hallway. And now I'm walking past them again in the aisle, and I see there's another cart. I'm like, oh, interesting. And there's like a ton of tools in there, like wrenches, and to be honest, there's a lot of in this track spot. There's a lot of tool sets, so. Tool sets can go anywhere from like $50 to $200, right? You have a complete set of wrenches and everything like that, or you have like more of this a basic set. They had like, I'd say maybe 10 of those in there, like of this all different kinds. I'm like, that's pretty interesting. Now, I'm thinking about like that's pretty like, I'm just gonna infer that they're gonna steal because it's just not common, right? Now, I'm not saying that they're going to, right? But you just want to. You're thinking based on the quantity of items they have and how expensive they are that it's not very common, right? I've had people do exactly that, and they come up and they pay for all of it. But it's really how you see how they approach and their behavior and how they're looking around. I kind of saw like, they're probably most likely gonna steal. So they grab the I go down the register again. The person's cover. I'm like, thank you, and they leave. And now they are coming up and are now there's a line that forms, right? I got another person on the right cashier because I'm on the left side, and I'm just cashing them out. And these guys are approaching, and I'm looking at them as I'm cashing out people, and he's looking directly at me. And all of a sudden, the main boss, the store manager of the store. Now, if you listen to this, you are a G. You are amazing. A great boss. One of my favorite bosses I've ever had. If anything, the best boss I've ever had in any job. Shout out. But he's like, hey guys, do you need any help? And he sees like all these items, and he's kind of like, you could see based on his behavior, he's like trying to, like, hey dude, we know you're stealing. Like, this is not very common to be carrying this amount of items, and how you guys are looking over their shoulders, because he knew they were looking over their shoulders too, and it's being suspicious, right? And like, oh no, sir, we're good. But I was maybe wondering about, like, do you guys have like a generator or heater or something like that, this kind? It's like I guess he was showing the model of it or like whatever, and the guy's like, I don't know, I have to check in the back. He said, oh, okay, can you check in the back, please? So he walks all the way back. Now these guys know that this guy's a store manager, right? So this guy walks all the way in the back. Now there's no administration on the floor. Right now, you just have frontline workers like me and the other person who's on the other on the register, and then you have one other person just kind of roaming around. So there's no administration. So they know that that the person who's going to call 911 or, dial whoever to stop these people is out. They're not on the floor anymore. So, I'm still like, I'm cashing out these people, cashing them out, scanning items and everything, but I'm still looking at them. Start approaching it. Now they take one of the carts and they stick it on this like. I don't know, they put it in one of the aisles that I can't really see, but when they walk back, they don't have the cart. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like, why are they keeping the items over there? Like, but the guy still has this one cart with like 5-10 lights, right? I'm cashing out the people. Now, these guys don't know that I'm staying focused on them because they see me just going back to scanning items, but I'm keeping like a peripheral of them, using my peripheral vision to see exactly what they're doing. And this one guy is walking with a cart with like the 5-10 lights or whatever of the headlights and the light bars. Walks up, looks at me, and he sees I'm just kind of distracted, but I know what he's doing. And he walks past the line, and now he's like relatively behind me to like the left side of me, right? Walking around me. And I'm like, huh. So now I remember this so specifically. So I'm sitting there, I'm standing forward, right? And me standing straight and looking forward is the whole store. Then behind me is the door, right? So I know that if this guy, the point he's at, he's going to steal. But I got to wait in the moment I act to grab this cart or do whatever, be like, hey, sir, where's your receipt? That he has to be approaching the door or, if anything, at the door. So I wait, like, I'm literally like, I remember sitting there and I'm like nervous as hell, like staring at the computer, like the register, like, probably enter the customer number in, but I'm also not focusing. And so like, I'm literally like ultra multitasking at this moment. And then I'm like, in my head, I'm like, right now. And I just turn around. These guys are about to leave. And so, like kind of thing, if you're like, at least common with me, when you're shopping with your family or your little kid or whatever, you grab the cart in the front and you leave like the handlebar area, like you pull it from the front. You don't push it, you just pull it behind you, right? So you grab the cart part instead of like the handlebar. That's what one of the guys are doing. When I turn around, I grab the handlebar, right, of the cart. I grab it, and it like shakes the cart. The guy looks back at me, and I'm like, sir, where's your receipt? And he's like, like he didn't know what to say for a few seconds. And he's like, oh, my homie has it. And his homie is walking out the store. And I'm like, then why is he walking out right now? Where's your receipt? The guy's like, well, come on, man. Come on. What do you mean? Like, he has a receipt. I'm like, well, no, you can't take these items if this is, you can't take them. Like, I need you to see a receipt. He's like, okay, whatever, man. And just, like, walks right out. Now he's following his friend out, like, and they both leave. So now I have this cart. Now, I know they probably had some stuff in their pockets. We found out later they did, but, right? But that other cart they left in there, right? So, essentially, I took, let's say I took 90% of the stuff they're going to steal, I saved, right? The 10% stuff, the stuff they have in their pockets, whatever they have, they had on them. But the majority of the big items, the high price items, I saved. So, I take it, and I remember, like, taking the car and turning it around. Now I'm facing everyone. Everyone's just staring at me. Like, all the cops are like, what the hell just happened? And then I just naturally I grab the car and come around, and my boss who was looking for the generator and the heater comes up, and I remember I take the car and I just push it towards him and let it go. And I'm like, yeah, these guys were about to steal these, but I saved them for you. And he's like, oh my god, dude, good job. Like, oh, like, and he was just like, he did not know what to say. Like, he was shocked. His eyes were like, what? And I walked right back in the line. I walked right back to the register, and I'm like, how can I help you? Like, I start cashing out people, and people are like, yo, what the hell? Like, I can't believe you just did that. I'm like, oh, well, it happens a lot. It's simple as that. Kind of do your thing. And I remember shaking the whole time, and I'm telling customers, I'm like, I'm so sorry. And they're like, no, dude, don't worry about it. You're doing your job. You're doing a great job. No worries. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I hate to ruin the customer experience here by stopping the line here to stop these people from stealing. But so I cashed the rest of the line. 5 or 6 people left. You have the other cashier on the other end. The other cashier on the other end is like completely shocked. And this is like, it's an older lady, like cashier, and she's just not really focused on that. But after everyone cleared out, she started telling me like, oh, I can't believe you did that. Like, that's crazy. Then my boss comes up, right? So our manager comes up, and he's like, dude, I am so thankful. You know how much you stopped? And he's like, you stopped over like 2-3 grand in product. Like, there was so much stuff that you stopped from getting stolen. I am so happy you acted. Like, maybe we should hire you as a security guard. And ever since that date, he has always been like super, like, like, he's treating me like gold, because he knows that, like, I stepped out my way, and I didn't really have to, but I stepped out my way to, save the products and just, help the store out. And I was really being hyper aware, and like, he gave me an award, like, you did a great job. Like, there's like these little stars you get, whatever, badges, and he's like, you did a great job. I really appreciate your hard work, Julian. Like, you really did it. And it was really cool. I just remember being nervous pretty much the majority of the time, but it was just because I was hyper aware. I've always been hyper aware when I'm in the register or working in any store about those customers and experiences, and so that is the first story of how I stopped these people who were about to steal. And any advice I can give you on that story specifically is just be aware of your surroundings, and remember, you don't get paid to stop people, right? You don't. If you get paid enough, you probably will. But majority of jobs, you're just working a cash register. You're just working as a cashier and doing your thing. You will probably you will not get paid enough to stop people. Enough you'll say is, "Hey, what are you doing, sir? Let me see your receipt." So I know I grabbed the car. I didn't have to, but any kind of advice is just make sure that if someone ever comes up to you with a firearm, and was like, hey, give me all the money. You give them all the money. That's what they train you. There's no reason to lose your life over like, no, I'm not going to give you this. Like, it's always good to be smart about that kind of stuff. But I was kind of off topic from what I experienced, but whatever. But yeah, that's the first story. Now the second story. Now I'm working same thing, working same store, Track Supply, working there, working the register. And I remember before these guys came in. Now. In the second story, this is the second time they're about to steal, right? This is the same people who were almost the last time I stopped their car from last story. Same people that's coming in a different time, right? Like weeks later. Everyone knew them. Everyone, like, they pulled up photos from the cameras, they had photos in the back posted of them, like, these are the people who steal, like, beware, this and that. So I'm working on the register, and I remember getting off I'm working the register for the majority of the day, and the next shift comes and they switch me over to like just working the floor. So I'm working the floor, putting dog food away, helping customers, running around, customer service, this and that, answering phones, blah, blah, blah. And these guys walk in, right? And I know that, because I said, someone, either me or someone said like, hello, how you doing, sir? How you doing, guys? No words. And I said it, based on the last activity they did in the store, about to steal. And they did steal, by the way. For the last story, they did steal. They actually, like, the stuff I stopped, I did stop. But we found their old shoes in a brand new boot box, like a Timberland boots. They stole those. They stole some batteries from tools and stuff. So, whatever. So, we know that these people steal. They're thieves, right? So they walk in. I kind of stay back because they know me, because they know I'm the one who acted, so they know me. So I kind of stay kind of hidden in the back. I'm just kind of hovering in the back area, doing my own thing, helping customers, pretend like I don't even know where they are, who they are, whatever, or don't recognize them, right? Doing my own thing, just walking around the store, helping this and that. And these guys do almost the same thing again. They ask for a generator, they grab more items, they take it in the back. Now, the store manager that was there last time is not there. We have the assistant store manager. There's a guy who just started, so he doesn't really know what's going on. He's not really aware. He's just kind of like, oh, what do I need to, like, he's so aware of the administrative stuff instead of actually the customers, because usually the frontline workers like me and other people like who work the cashier will really do the customer service. He's just more focused on the administration and the money and the, oh, this needs to be here. Like, he's not really focusing on the customers himself. I'm not saying he doesn't help customers, but he's just more focused on the people, the operations, right? The administration of Track Supply, not the frontline worker work. Exactly, right? I'm basically what I'm saying is frontline workers are more focused on the customers and the presence of its, like, the store of itself right now, compared to he's more focused on the administration and more of the operations of the business, right? So I see these guys walk around, they do the same thing. They asked, instead of asking the other store manager, they asked this assistant store manager, hey, I need to look for a generator, where's this? And he's like, oh, let me look in the back. Looks in the back, and now you have the two guys who, they start grabbing items, tools and stuff. They do the same trick. They try to take the cart and push it in the area you can't really see from the register, and like hidden. And I'm walking around the store now, and I kind of see they have the stuff stacked, so I know this is about to go down. I know. And I see the car, I'm like, oh, okay, that verifies to me that they're still trying to steal from here. Okay. And I remember there's two other people working the register, and there's a line of like 4 or 5 people, right? And these guys take one of the carts, and they actually are standing in the line of the register, and they're about like 1 or 2 people away. And I see my assistant manager. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna come over here, and I say it really loud, right? And everyone kind of looks at, like, everyone goes, oh, this, like, they look at me because I'm talking relatively loud. And these 2 guys look at me, and they're like, whatever. And then, now what I do is, where the register is, I stand like probably 30, 40 feet away, but I'm talking, about 30, 40 feet away. I'm sitting there talking to the manager while looking at these guys directly, eye contact. And I'm leaning down, I'm like, hey, those guys are about to steal. Those guys are about to steal. I'm saying, he's like, what? Huh? I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, look over there. Look at the cart. These guys stole last time. I'm telling you, they have a plan. I'm telling you right now. Like, what do we do? He doesn't really know. And now now we kind of start approaching, like, as I'm talking, we start slowly kind of walking towards the register. And I'm like, those guys with the cart right there, the guy wearing the black shoes, the guy wearing the red pants. You see the guy over there? They're about to steal. He's like, huh? And I say it louder. I'm like, and I shouldn't have done this. I really shouldn't. But I pointed at the people, and I was like, they're going to steal. But when I said that, the store kind of got a little quiet, and they heard me, and they looked at me, and literally, bro, like, they were one customer away as I'm speaking, but, right, as I'm about to finish my sentence, that person left, and they were approaching the next line. So they're about to act on what they're going to do. They're going to walk out or do some money scam or whatever. And they go up, because as I'm saying that, they're walking up, like, moving to the next slot in the line, and they're about to put their items on the table or do whatever they're going to do. And they see me, and they look at me, and they literally just, they look at me saying that, and I guess they heard steal. They knew that I was looking at them, pointing at them. They took they dropped all their items in their cart and walked right out and left the cart there. That was literally it. And he's like, whoa, what the hell just happened? Like, why are those guys walking out? I'm like, see how they're all their I'm like, dude, I'm telling you. You see that car over there? They did the same thing. Look at the cameras. I'm telling you. And he's like, dude, how did you know? And I'm like, I'm just aware. Like, they did it last time. And, well, it helps that they, the fact that I recognize them from last time. But also, look, like, the way they're acting again, like, the products. He was just like, oh, he was just shocked and stunned. But that was the only time I stopped people from stealing. And that was the store manager was very excited. I stopped again, and he always called me the bodyguard track supply because I was always stopping people those two times. And but there was another time where someone stole, but they walked right past me. The whole big tool set. It was probably like $250 tool set. Didn't even think anything of it. The guy was like, "Hey, have a great day." And I'm not even thinking that he's holding 2 procs. Didn't just cash out and walks right out. Realized that after he walked out the door, I'm like, "Yo, the guy just stole." So, some people are really good at it. They just do it, and they just like, who cares? And then some other people try to make it a whole scene, and they try to plan it all out. Some people literally just take the item and walk right out. But that is the time that I stopped 2 robberies in progress, and I was known as a bodyguard track supply. Any tips I can give you guys on stopping robberies or anything like that is just be aware. Say, for example, you're working at a gas station every night. Look at the cameras. Stay aware of the cameras. I've done security apartments. You just got to stay aware on the cameras. If there's no cameras, then look in the area that people will be entering. If there's a window, stare at the window and look at people ins and out of the location. They also, a lot of jobs when you have notorious people who steal from your store, they have photos posted up. Another way to stop customers from stealing is they'll have you go up to the customer, "Hey sir, you need help," and you come back a minute later, "Hey sir, you need help?" You kind of communicate without saying it directly. "Hey, we know you're doing some suspicious activity. Cut that out," without saying it. And yeah, that's the time I stopped robberies in progress. Those are some ways to stop, maybe some robberies when you're when you're working the cash register, or you're just working your normal retail job or grocery job. But hope you guys enjoy. Peace.